Hello and welcome, my name is Kyle FtW and welcome back to another gaming video. Today, we're going to be talking about the brand new Xbox as well as the new Xbox Series S in this video, which is very exciting stuff. Earlier this week, actually a couple of days ago, 2 days ago to be exact, we got new information about the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, the price, the release, and the pre-order information. So this is once again provided by Charlie Intel once again, but today we're going to be talking about all of this. So it says Xbox has officially announced the details on the release date, the price, and the pre-orders for the Xbox Series X and S console. In an announcement, the company revealed that the Xbox Series S and X will launch on November 10th. There are two editions of Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S Digital Edition. In addition, the company also revealed the price: Xbox Series X $499 and the Xbox Series S is going to be $299. On November 10th, a new generation of console gaming begins. This is, of course, a quote from Xbox. That's when our vision becomes reality with the most performant, immersive, and compatible next-generation console gaming experiences, and the freedom to play your games with your friends anytime, anywhere. To empower you more than ever to jump into the next generation of gaming, today we confirmed Xbox Series X, our most powerful console ever made, and Xbox Series S, next-gen performance, and our smallest console ever, built at a more affordable price. Launch globally November 10th, pre-orders start September 22nd. Pre-orders will go live at retailers worldwide, including Microsoft, Amazon, GameStop, Best Buy, and more, starting September 22nd. Of course, I don't know about what the European game stores are, but I'm sure you can pre-order it from there as well. I know Amazon, I'm pretty sure, is not a US only place. I think that is also a Europe thing as well. So again, you can pre-order it from Amazon in Europe and of course your select gaming retailer within Europe. So it also says check your local retail's site for pre-order information. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War will be available on Xbox Series X and S on November 13th. So that being said, let's go ahead and break this down. I'm going to talk about, we kind of burned through the article very quickly, and now we'll just go ahead and talk about some of the other things that, or basically kind of talk about this stuff, break it down, and give you guys my opinion about what we saw here with this article. So, launching on November 10th, that is very interesting, because the Black Ops Cold War comes out 3 days after that, which is very interesting. I assume that being that Call of Duty will come out on a Friday, that these consoles will launch on a Tuesday, minus 3 days. So yeah, a Tuesday, which is very interesting. So honestly, I kind of feel like buying the cross-generation bundle was kind of a mistake, being that the consoles are supposed to come out before the game comes out. But again, we still don't know anything about the PlayStation release date or anything like that. So that is very interesting. I assume that the PlayStation will probably be around there, because I can't exactly remember when the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 came out, but I'm pretty sure they came out around the exact same time as each other. There might have been, different times between those, but if I actually remember correctly, I think they launched consoles by region. So I think the US got it first, and then Europe got it, and then so on and so forth throughout the world. But I don't know if they're going to be doing that here as well. It just says launch on November 10th, so I assume that is talking sheerly about everywhere. So as long as you buy it, you will get that console on November 10th. Now, I'm not sure. I do know what console I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy the PlayStation 5, but I don't know if I will ever end up picking up the Xbox Series X or not. But again, I will see as time goes on. But now that kind of goes right into talking about the prices. So of course the Xbox Series X is the physical console that you buy, that you set up and place below your desk. But apparently the Xbox Series S is a digital only console, and I really don't know what this means still. I don't know if this means it's sort of like the Stadia, where it's online only, you just get your games, you download them, or if it's actually a physical console that just doesn't have a disc drive in it. I don't know exactly what a digital version of a console means. Of course, PlayStation also has their own individual version of this, but I have no idea what this means. It's very interesting. But $499 for the Xbox Series X console itself. Now, I believe that is the exact same price as the Xbox One was multiple years ago, or it was either $500 or it was $400. I can't remember for sure, but this is kind of expensive. This, of course, I'm not like mad about how much this costs or anything, because I think, they have to make a profit, of course, so the parts that they put into these consoles may be a little bit more expensive. So the fact that they're upping the price a little bit, it definitely makes a lot of sense, and $499 is pretty I'd say that's not super expensive, and I'd say that's not super cheap either, and you definitely don't want a cheap console. So definitely the fact that it's pretty expensive is a good thing. Of course, the new graphics cards from GeForce and I can't remember who else are $500 as well, $500 to $600 as well. So they're a little bit more than a console. But again, it's all up to personal preference. But me, the $499 price point doesn't sound like that it's that crazy or anything like that. The Xbox Series X, of course, is going to be a lot less because it is a digital-only version of that console, and that's fine. But again, we'll talk about the specs here in a minute. I have to find that article. Actually, I just remembered that I should talk about the specs here in this video as well. But then again, that's very, very interesting. So I'm thinking that the PlayStation 5 will probably be less than the Xbox Series X based off of how strong the consoles are. But again, we don't know because PlayStation hasn't really come out about when these consoles are supposed to be coming out or when the specific PlayStation 5 is supposed to come out. So we have no idea. We really don't have any idea about what is going to be cheaper, if they're going to be the same price or anything like that at the moment. But anyways, I'm going to cut here and I'm going to go over and talk about the specs of both consoles. So I need to find that, but I will see you guys in 2 seconds. All right, so here we are. I'm going to put the image on the screen right now so you guys can check out all of the stuff that each console individually has. Of course, I will talk about it in this video, so the image won't be on very long, and in fact, it's probably already off the screen at this point because I can't have an image stretching out probably for the rest of this video because of specific issues with my editing software. But anyways, I digress. You can see it on the screen right now, but the processor here is an 8-core AMD Ryzen Zen 2 architecture CPU at 3.8 gigahertz, 3.6 gigahertz with SMT. I have no idea what this means, but there we go. That's the processor. And then the Xbox Series S has the exact same processor, minus the fact that it's 0.2 less in every way than the Xbox Series S or Xbox Series X, sorry, on that processor information. So again, it's not really that different, but as we continue on here, you will definitely notice exactly and how big the differences are between these two consoles. So the graphics, AMD Navi RDNA 2 family GPU with 52 CU at 1.825 gigahertz, 12 teraflops FP32, and then for the Xbox Series S, we have the AMD Navi RDNA 2 family GPU with 20 CU at 1.565 gigahertz, 4 teraflops FP32. So of course, as now we can see some of the changes that are coming into play. There is a lot less within the Xbox Series S versus the Xbox Series X. So that is something to be aware of as well. There's a lot, if we're talking about things here, there's 16 gigabytes versus 10, 14 gigabytes per second versus 8 gigabytes per second. I think I'm reading that right. So overall, the Xbox Series X is much, much stronger. Now, talking about storage, once again, storage is kind of a big deal because games these days are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and taking up more and more space within the game console. So the Xbox Series X has 1 terabyte, which is huge, and the Xbox Series S only has 512 gigabytes. So very, very, very a lot smaller compared to the Xbox Series X. And now we have the optical drive, which is the Xbox Series X has yes to 4K Blu-ray, which is very, very cool. And the Xbox Series X does not have that due to the fact that, of course, as I mentioned earlier in the video, because of the fact that there is not going to be a disc slot within the Xbox Series S, that is why. So, and because the Xbox Series X does have a disc drive in it, that is why it is able to have a 4K Blu-ray disc drive. And then this is something that's huge and will probably determine which console you buy, and personally, if I ever buy an Xbox, will determine exactly what I buy. So it says the maximum output resolution for the Xbox Series X is 8K 60 frames per second or 4K 120 frames per second versus the Xbox Series S, which is only 1440p 120 frames per second. So, and that's all it can do. So this is kind of a big difference. Now, I don't really think a human eye can actually see anything over 4K, if I'm not mistaken, so you're not really losing out on too much. Either way, the games will look amazing. 1440p 120 FPS is basically current very strong PCs, so it will still look great. But if you are a big graphics person like I personally am, then the Xbox Series X is definitely the console you're going to want to buy. It's actually kind of funny because I'm going to need to buy myself a 4K monitor by the end of this year if I actually want to get my true experiences of the next gen consoles. So now the audio, both of them are ray traced. There's no difference there at all. Same with the controller, the share button, and the dynamic latency input are both the same for each console. Again, no changes there as well. The VR support is unknown, of course, virtual reality support. And then backwards compatibility. This is very, very cool as well. Every single game ever made on an Xbox, I think, as long as they support it, is backwards compatible. So any Xbox One games that you have, any Xbox 360 games you have, and even if you still have some old original Xbox games, you can play them on either console, which is amazing, and that's a very, very cool thing. And then of course the release date is November 10th for both, and the prices are very, very different. So in my personal opinion, what console should you buy out of the Xboxes? Well, that is all up to personal preference. I mean, of course graphics and price are something within its own, but of course you have to be concerned about what your friends play on, what exclusives there are for that game, and it really depends on what games you enjoy playing. Of course, there is never going to be a Call of Duty game that comes out on, of course this video is going up on a Call of Duty channel, so there's never going to be a Call of Duty game that's on a different console. Call of Duty is always going to be on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, so you never have to worry about, you know, missing out on Call of Duty. But of course, if you want Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or you want Halo, then you have to pick one or the other. But again, I'm not going to tell you what console to buy because that is always up to personal preference. Me personally, if you're a gamer only, definitely get the Xbox Series X because of the fact that it has 8K and 4K capabilities, which means your games are going to look incredible, and that is just nothing but a good thing. However, if you don't have $500 at your disposal, then the Xbox Series S, it's kind of a no-brainer. $200 cheaper with really no differences except for storage, and the games will look a little bit worse than an Xbox Series X. So honestly, that is always up to personal preference, but me personally, if I were to buy one of these Xboxes, it would 100% be the Xbox Series X because it looks better and things function a lot better on that specific console. But anyway guys, that is going to do it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm very, very excited for these next generation consoles. I think they're going to be absolutely amazing. Of course, PC is always going to be superior to console with graphics as well as frames per second. But you know, with the consoles that we're getting, I think we're getting a pretty cool deal, not gonna lie. And of course, these consoles will be available for probably the next 7 to 10 years, just like the Xbox 360, and then of course the Xbox One and PlayStation 5. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I apologize it was longer than I tried to make it, but sometimes that just happens because I tend to ramble a lot, like I'm doing right now. But anyways, let me know what your guys' thoughts are about the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series X. Hopefully, Xbox Series S. Hopefully we get some more information about the PlayStation 5 in the upcoming weeks. But anyways, I will see you all. If you guys have missed any of my previous Black Ops Cold War news and information, we had a ton of videos like that this week, so make sure you check those out if you want to. And I'll see you guys all on another Call of Duty video very, very soon.